This is Leanne, the Carolina Socialite. I'm making 7 swimsuits in 7 days, and today is day 2, and today I will be making the Lowland Kids Reversible Rashguard. I have all of my pieces cut. So we've got our front piece, our back piece, our back bodice piece. 2 of those because it has like a tie closure in the back. So I have those. And then I'm doing the long sleeve version. So I have my 2 sleeve pieces. Okay, so this is one side and this is a reversible swimsuit. So I'm going to show you my second fabric. So I have that. I have my sleeve pieces. I have the back bodice and the other back bodice. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces. So let's jump in and get started. First thing we're going to do is if you used a directional fabric like I did with the buses and you cut 2 separate pieces for the main and then the back, you are going to take those right sides together and sew to attach across the crotch. You can use your sewing machine with a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or you can use your serger. Okay, so once we have that sewn on, we are going to take the front bodice here and the back bodice pieces, and we're going to lay them right sides together, and we're going to clip at the shoulder. And we're going to have to do the exact same thing for your contrasting piece. So this is my contrasting piece here. Right sides together and clip. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to my serger and I am going to sew across all 4 of these with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so now that we have the back bodice pieces attached at the shoulders, what we're going to do now is lay it right sides facing up, and we're going to take the corresponding sleeve. I'm going to fold it in half to find the center here. And you can mark it or put a pin or a clip. I'm going to put a clip. Okay. And then we're going to come over here to the arm side. So this is the arm side. So you're just going to line up that clip, which is the middle of your sleeve, with the shoulder seam. Okay, and then you are going to continue pinning it all the way across the arm side. Okay, and so once you have all 4 of these sleeves clipped, you're going to take that to the sewing machine or the serger, and you are just going to sew that to attach all along the arm side using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take both of our pieces. So we've got, we'll just say the main and the lining. We're going to put those right sides together. And then we are going to clip along the leg holes all the way to here on each side. And then we are also going to come up here to the top of the bottoms, if that makes any sense. So right here, so those are the bottoms. It's going to be the top. So we are going to sew across here, but we are going to leave about 1.5 inches hole so that we can turn this out later, okay? So once you have that clipped, you can take it to your sewing machine and sew to attach using your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so now we have the bottoms of the main and the coordinating fabric sewn together in the leg openings. So now we're going to come up to the back bodice. And we are going to line up the tie pieces. And then we're going to keep flipping around the tie. Okay. Now we are going to take this to the sewing machine or the serger, and starting at one end over here, or starting at one end over here, we are going to sew all the way around the tie piece, around the front neckline, and then around the whole other side piece there. Okay, so now we are going to focus on our sleeves. Okay, so with both of your sides together, so I've got my main, my lining, I'm going to put those right sides together, and then I am going to sew the sleeves right here at the end using your 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to do that with both sides. Okay. So what you have now are both of your pieces sewn together, your sleeves. I know this looks like it can't possibly be right, but I promise it is. So these, the wrists. Okay, so now you are going to find your back tie pieces, and you are going to turn just this right sides out. And you want to use something like a chopstick to poke out the corners. Okay. All right, and you have both of those like that. Then we are going to come down here to the sleeves. Now this part looks a little tricky, but I promise it's not that bad. So you have your two different pieces here. You are going to take this top one. So this, mine has the buses, and I'm going to fold that right sides together on itself. Okay. And I'm going to line up those side seams. Or shoulder seams. I'm not sure which seam that is. Okay, you're gonna line up those seams. And then clip the bust fabric onto itself, okay? So then you're gonna line up your wrist seam, and then you're gonna continue lining up your other coordinating piece, or your lining piece. Okay. And then, let's see. All right, so see how we have that? So once you get it like that, you've got your two pieces right there on top of each other. Okay, and then I'm gonna come back up here, and I'm actually going to take all four of those pieces and just clip them all four together. Now, if you wanted to, you could baste these two together and then these two pieces together and then clip them. But I am just gonna do it this way. And I'm just gonna put a lot of clips in here just to make sure that it doesn't shift. Because this is gonna be 4 layers that we're gonna have to sew through. So you really, and I just broke that one. So you really want to make sure that you're gathering all of those layers and that none are slipping through. But you want to make sure that the tie piece is not in the way, okay? So again, here, what I'm gonna do is just pull the back bodice piece down so it's stretched evenly, and then clip it there. And then make sure that these are lined up, and I'll put a clip there. Okay, we're gonna repeat that for the other side, and then I'm gonna continue clipping. Okay. This is where it's going to seem a little weird because what you need to do is take your bottoms and you're going to push this through the hole right here in the crotch. Let me see if I can do this. All right, so we're just going to push it up through here. Okay. And then I'm going to take this clip out, and maybe this one, because what you're going to do is pull it to where you can match up the sides. Okay. And make sure that you have, like if you did 2 different patterns here, you just want to make sure that you're matching up the right sides and that it's not twisted. And then you will clip it here. So make sure that's all the way together. You can stuff. So now I'm going to take this to my serger and I'm going to start here. I'm going to sew all the way around under the arm side and then down the sides, okay? And then I'm going to come over on this other side and do the same thing. Now we are going to reach up through this little opening here and we're going to pull all of it out. And here we have our rash guard. And this is what it looks like from the back. So you tie these little straps. How cute. All right, I think my daughter is going to love this. All right, and this is the reversible rash guard. So you can switch sides. And look at that. All right, I'll show you what it looks like over on this side. And the only thing that you're going to want to do next, or the last thing that you're going to do, is that opening that you had. You are just going to tuck those sides in. And you can actually do this by hand and just do an invisible like ladder stitch right here. And then that'll close up that hole.